forever strong. And I will be here, and I will protest every time that I need to be here. I will be here strongly, and I'm strong to support Israel and be there for America and Israel, for the freedom and for the sake of freedom and life and music and precious children and peace. That's what we stand for, not for terrorism. You got it? And you, Mandami, you should be arrested. You and your disgraceful, ugly wife.
I am formally requesting that the United States Department of Justice open a civil rights investigation into New York City, New York State, and Mayor Mamdani.
I have a message for the Jewish community. We need to look in the mirror. Mamdani has blood on his hands, but we have held hands with the enemy. Friday morning, I had to watch a press conference with leaders of the largest Jewish organization in New York who had given $1 million to Gaza, with political leaders who had endorsed Zohran Mamdani, standing there, condemning this attack. We need to stop playing footsie with people who want us dead. I see a beautiful sign here. I am not a Jew with trembling knees. One of the best prime ministers in the history of the world, Menachem Begin. Stop giving in to the enemy. Stop cowering. I'm sick and tired of people saying to me, Lizzie, you just don't understand how politics works. Let me tell you something. This isn't working.
No prisons, no borders, supporting Hamas. I don't understand how that helps us get to where we are. I watched a young mayor give a speech there about how he wants to arrest Netanyahu. I don't understand how that lowers prices. I don't understand how that addresses. I listened to cab drivers here in the city who said they liked Mandami because he's about getting their rent lower. I don't hear any of them saying I like them because they want to abolish prisons, they want to abolish the borders, they want to defund the police. We think Hamas is absolutely right and we should be supporting them. And we should be arresting Netanyahu. That's an agenda of a group of people who are radical, who I believe have no place in my party. The party I grew up in, the party I was raised in. My dad was a member of Congress. My uncles and aunts served in elected office back in Tennessee throughout my entire life. I was blessed to be there 10 years. I don't know any of them. There are Democrats who I disagree with on spending policy and a few things, tax policy every once in a while. I was a blue dog. But there was never anybody who said abolish the police, abolish the borders, abolish law enforcement, support Hamas. We Democrats have to step away from these people. If they want to continue to align themselves with us rhetorically, so be it. I say to Democrats, and I said it on Monday, if we lose in November in a tight race, and independents and some independent-minded Republicans say I couldn't support them because they wanted to abolish the police, they wanted to abolish borders. Not that they were going to make things more affordable or not because we think they have a better plan to beat Iran. We will have only ourselves to blame if that happens.
Do you think anti-Semitism has gotten worse under Mayor Mamdani?
Of course it has. When you have the mayor giving press conferences like he did 2 days ago or 3 days ago, like it's a State of the Union, saying Israel's committing genocide over and over, and Netanyahu's a war criminal that he wants to arrest even though he knows he cannot arrest. And you say these things to 90 million people like it's a statement of fact, like tonight it'll get dark. Israel's committing genocide without giving any leeway or other side of the room. And by the way, his team, his wife was celebrating the October 7th attacks 24 hours after it happened. Mamdani, was rallying that it was a genocide less than a week after it happened. So they were saying it was a genocide and war criminal before Israel even really responded. They felt this way before. It's almost convenient for them that this has happened because they can say it publicly. But absolutely, when you have the mayor of a city who's continually demonizing Israel and Jews, what do you expect to happen? You have one Looney Tune yelling Allah Akbar and stabbing somebody. He has to look himself in the mirror. What scares me, Stuart, I'm not sure he cares. Like, you know, he has refused to condemn globalize the Intifada. What do you think that means? This is what it means. So 100% it's on his watch. But I don't know that he cares.
This is Naomi Wolf. I'm at the. Yes. Thank you. I'm at the hate against Jews rally on 85th in Amsterdam, and I've just interviewed a woman who's 58, who there are multiple eyewitnesses that I also interviewed who hit her, called her a fucking cunt when she asked him not to tear down posters, and then he hit her, made direct contact with her, knocked her hat off, and another eyewitness said that he had a key in his fist, so he could have hurt her badly, and yet a third eyewitness said that there are knives shaped like keys. The police interviewed her and implied that she hadn't really been assaulted because there's no blood. And there are again multiple eyewitnesses I've interviewed. I have them on video. And then the police walked him a block down and let him go, still with the key, according to all these eyewitnesses, in his hand. And she's been told that she should file a harassment report. But this guy's still walking around having assaulted a 58-year-old woman who's like a third his size. Officers, would anyone speak to you about this alleged assault that just occurred? I have no idea. I just got here. Okay. And another eyewitness said that the officer who let him go, or who gave the orders that he not be taken into custody or treated as an assault, was a white-shirted commanding officer of Precinct 19, the same one who did.
I could be a bastard, but I'm also very kind. I'm a giver. For instance, I'm gonna give this fucker right here some very good advice because I'm kind. You see, this fucker here, Mr. Ma'am Dandy, has made a decision to push his followers to rally, protest, and riot next week at the United Nations when Netanyahu comes. And my advice to you, Mr. Ma'am Dandy, is to pull the fucking plug on that decision. You need to understand something from this old man. Well, what do I know? I know that a lot of people are going to get hurt. A lot of innocent people are going to get hurt, if not more than that, if this goes down next week at the UN, because of what you're calling for, Mr. Ma'am Dandy. A lot of my friends and family in the NYPD are going to get hurt, if not worse, Mr. Ma'am Dandy, and it's going to be on your fucking watch, son. You know who else's watch it's going to be on? You, Commissioner Tish. If you don't get in this fucker's ear and tell him to pull the fucking plug on this, it's going to hurt you too, honey. You see, Mr. Ma'am Dandy, you got to understand, you're already on the thinnest of fucking ice. And you cannot fathom the amount of hungry piranhas who lie underneath that ice, anticipating its crack. So you need to evaluate this life-altering decision you are about to make, son. This is a gift. Take it.
Yeah. Sorry about, well, no, I'm not going to apologize for the language per se, because one, it wasn't mine. And number two, with that language at this point, as I adjust this thing here, that's how they're feeling. I've talked to many people up in the tri-state area, and they are not happy whatsoever. Yes, indeed. People are talking, people are coming together, they're taking action. Finally, they have woken up. And you have the Italian community, you have the Jewish community, you have the Black community, you have the Dominican Republic community who had a huge march today. All these people are now rising up going, this ain't it. I don't know what you call this, but it ain't it. And we're not going to have that in our city. You got two big things coming up in New York City: United Nations conclave or whatever they're having, and then of course you've got the 9/11 remembrance, and they've already issued publicly, don't show up. Mandami, do not come to the 9/11 remembrance ceremony, which is going to be incredible if he does show up, because they all know how he really feels. And so, as I put up in my thumbnail, are we looking at New York City being ground zero all over again? Is this what we're going to be looking at as we move forward? And because I was wondering, should I cover this? And I realized it is a national story. What is going on in New York City is affecting so much of American life, and I don't think enough people understand how much it is. It is affecting the economy. It is affecting where your tax dollars are going. It is affecting real estate, at least up there and definitely down here in a good way. It is affecting how education is going to be, well, if there's such thing as higher education anymore. It is affecting how these young people are embracing socialism. And it's getting to a feverish pitch here where this thing is going to blow. That last gentleman who spoke is an artist up in New York City, obviously Italian, obviously very, very passionate about what's happening. And he spoke in the language of the people in New York City. Even Dr. Naomi Wolf, when she was talking about the guy who attacked somebody, and the guy called her a name, and she said the name on camera. I mean, I was looking at something she posted earlier, and she goes, the man who attacked a 58-year-old Jewish woman at the anti-hate rally held a key in his attacking hand. I posted the image of him covering his right hand while flanked by police. I was told by a witness who thought this was weird, as no cars can reach the event, that some knives look like keys, and it is true. It's this close. This woman got pushed to the ground. She could have gotten stabbed. We've already had stabbings from the Alu snack bar people. I don't know if you've read the news today, but they had another attack over in Germany when a van, somehow the van broke loose. The van decided to drive like a Tesla, automated, and decided it was going to ram through a pride parade, which is very interesting, since so many of those people who wave those pride flags are cheering on the same people who want them dead. They've been brainwashed, they've been gaslit, they've been hoodwinked. And I'm thinking at some point, maybe now they're going to realize, hey, did that van just drive itself through an LGBTQ party? Did it want to run us over? Did he jump out and they find out they had to waste the guy? That he came from the Allah snack bar bunch of people? Yep. And that's what you got in New York. That's what you have in New York right now. And now you can add in all of the other nationalities and pour those in and realize the biggest nationality is probably American. No, none of that hyphenated stuff. You got blacks, you got Italians, you got Hispanics, and they're Americans, and they're starting finally to realize something is really wrong. They gave the guy the benefit of a doubt. I don't think he'll finish his term one way or the other. I just don't think he will. Or put it this way, he won't finish his term in the manner in which he has started it. There is no way that they are going to allow this to continue. Not a chance. And so next week, I believe it is when Netanyahu comes to town. And you know how he feels about Netanyahu. You know how his people feel about Netanyahu. And so what do you think is going to happen? You got Alan Dershowitz talking about bringing 100,000 people to protest Mandami. You're going to have Mossad. You're going to have Secret Service. This is just like a barbecue waiting for the match. And I don't hear anybody talking about it. I hear people talking about freaking Mike Lindell, and I hear people talking about this and that and the other thing. I'm like, wait a second. Do you realize what's about to happen in the biggest city in America? Netanyahu, which I'm going to show you, pretty much came out and said, game on, I'm coming. Nothing you can do about it. And this isn't about Israel. This isn't about Netanyahu. I don't care what side of the fence you are residing on in regarding to Israel. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about New York City. And should he come? Absolutely. He has every right to come. But see, the New York mayor that's in that city is the one who's causing the problem. And something inside of me tells me he goes back to Gracie Mansion and just giggles his behind off. He knows exactly what he's doing. He hasn't backed off of it, even though he came out and said, I can't arrest him. Now he's calling for a citywide protest, which means they're coming from all over the country. A citywide protest in New York absolutely means he's made the call. He's calling New Yorks into New York City. How do you think that's going to work out? How do you think that is going to specifically affect the people in New York City? It's a tinderbox, and it's waiting to happen. Check this out.
The Jewish community is fighting back today, holding an anti-Zohran Mamdani protest on the Upper West Side after the mayor recently acknowledged he doesn't have the legal authority to arrest Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and a hate-fueled stabbing attack near Central Park.
Newsmax correspondent Andrew Kraft is there live. Andrew.
Yeah, Bill, Krisha, good morning. You can hear right now the chants behind me of fight. Also, we heard some more chants of Mamdani has to go. And organizers were telling me today they expect around 400 to 500 demonstrators coming out here to voice their opposition to some of Mayor Mamdani's policies, especially.
Now, understand, that doesn't sound like a whole lot of people. 400 or 500 people in the size of a city of New York with 8 million. No, it's what those 400 or 500 people represent. It's just beginning. Everybody else is watching and seeing what's going on. Remember, the orcs haven't come into town yet. So this is just the locals. The locals who are saying, we can't keep doing this. So don't let that number think that it's a small number of people who are upset.
When it comes to the Jewish community here in New York City, especially in the wake of these really horrible stabbing attack that took place a couple of days ago on the Upper West Side. We're on the Upper West Side right now. I have in my hand some of the literature that's being handed out here. As you can see, this www.firemamdani.com. So the anger, the vitriol at the mayor is very palpable here right now. I do want to bring into the conversation someone who felt the need to come out today. I want to speak with you, ma'am. Why do you feel like you need to be here today?
I feel like we have to stand up for the United States of America, and I don't want it to get so far gone that we're like, why was I silent? We can't be silent. This man is a danger. He is a charismatic man. We got to give him that. And he's appealing to people that are not naturally born Americans, people that don't really have a connection to this country. I think the Jewish people are part of the fabric of our country. I'm Catholic, and I believe that our country is first and foremost.
See, it's not, like I said, it's not about Netanyahu. It's not about Israel. It's about, as she said, we cannot stay silent. That is the message. That is the message that can resound across the country. Don't make it about Israel and Netanyahu. Make it about the survival of America. That is interesting that that's how she phrased that herself. I'm Catholic. Okay, you couldn't be further away from being Jewish. I am Catholic. I'm Christian. This isn't about the religion. It's about the country. And I think more people, as she said, you can't stay silent.
Everything we do.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. You hear some of the USA chants going on. Tom, I do want you to just pan across the street if we can. I just want to show you, just to get both sides of this story today. This is a counter protest at the moment, and you see some of the signs there. You also see some members, representatives of the Orthodox Jewish community who definitely disagree with the large majority of their religious brethren on this specific issue. This is a small subset counter-protesting of this specific issue, the Israel-Gaza war that continues. But I want to bring it back here this way. As you can see behind me, Tom is going to just show you the crowd, the American flags, the Israeli flags. We also have the Republican gubernatorial candidate here on hand, Bruce Blakeman. He'll be addressing the crowd as well as we ramp up to the midterms in November. So this is really just getting started, Bill and Krisha. We're going to be here throughout the morning and afternoon speaking with people as to why they felt the need to come out today to this End Jew Hatred protest on the Upper West Side.
You know, it's weird is because, you know, a number of you have watched my show for quite some time. We have always thought, why the hell didn't you people come out and vote? Why did you get lazy? Why did you take things for granted? Now you got to work it on the back end. Now you've got to bring everybody together to at least get rid of his ideology. I don't know how tough it would be to get rid of him. And you watch what happens. The piranhas that are watching from the outside, those are going to be people like Cuomo, Eric Adams. Once it becomes a political fireplace where they can say, there might be an opportunity for us to get rid of him now, that's when it really will crank up. But at the same time, Mamdani knows that that's possible as well. He knows that this thing is a powder keg just ready to go. It literally is going to be Escape from New York time.
Yeah, Andrew, very interesting, especially given that the candidate Bruce Blakeman will be there, because as we know, Kathy Hochul does have the ability to rein in Mamdani. So that's really the only position here in New York.
How does the governor of New York have the ability to rein in Mamdani? Maybe financially, maybe say he's not going to get any more money, which she should have never given to him to begin with. What does he have over her head? Why would she have been funding the stuff that he needed when he came out and bragged that he balanced the budget in a couple of months? No, you didn't. You got $8 or $9 billion from the rest of the state that she gave it to you. Why has she been supporting him? Doesn't make any sense.
Official who could rein him in. I mean, what are we expected to hear from the gubernatorial candidate, as well as just in general? I think we were hearing chants for people, they're saying there, to remove Mamdani. They have those posters, as you were just showing.
Yeah, a lot of that today. Mamdani has to go. We just heard that chant, but you heard the USA chant as well. So there's a very patriotic sense. Of course, the deep kinship the United States and Israel share, that's alive and well today. If we get to speak to Bruce Blakeman, I do want to ask, whether or not he has heard this same opposition to Mamdani, not only here in New York City, but throughout New York State, throughout the Empire State, as he continues to campaign for governor. That'll be one of my main questions to him if we do kind of catch him as he leaves. I don't think he's spoken just yet, but you can really feel the excitement and the energy here at this protest. This protest was somewhat hastily arranged and planned about a couple of days ago. It was on social media, and you can see the turnout for it right now. Like I said, organizers are anticipating possibly 400 to 500 protesters here on a Sunday morning on the Upper West Side.
We have to be, I know you guys may not like this, but we, in some regards, have to become just like the Democrats, or rather the socialists. The key word is activism, organize. The old way isn't going to work. The old way of just letting some politician make the stump speech, nope, that's not going to work. You are going to have to mobilize, which is completely different than most people on the right are used to. You're going to have to get out there and pound the pavement. You're going to have to get out there and knock on doors. You're going to have to get out there and talk to people in your workplace. That's the only way we're going to win. I mean, Trump may have some ideas, which we'll show you in a second, but absent politicians, The way the Democrats and the socialists are winning is they're getting out there and they're making people know what they want. And I'm so happy to see older people, the boomers amongst us, who are getting out there and going, nah, this is ours. We built it. Take your little wet behind the ear whippersnapper butt and go back into the cave of which you came from. You are not going to destroy everything that we've worked for decades.
Andrew, real quick, it seems to be less political on that side, meaning it looks like a reaction to some of the vitriol and the hateful rhetoric you hear from Mamdani and his allies, whereas across the street, very odd to see an Orthodox, either rabbi or just an Orthodox Jewish man holding a Palestinian flag. It just seems...
I don't know anything about the Stockholm syndrome that these people are experiencing. That there are actually rabbis and synagogues who are aligned with Mamdani. And I'm thinking to myself, that's like black people joining the Ku Klux Klan. That's absolutely mind-blowing. What the heck do they have in common? What are they trying to do by supporting Mamdani? Protection? Money? Doesn't make any sense. I'd love for people to explain that one.
That the other side is going after Israel, making it political. This rally seems to be much more about, hey, save our city. It's about us. It's about protecting people in New York City.
Bill, that is so true. I mean, this protest here is about Mamdani, specifically his policies, especially toward New York City Jews. And the other one on the side of the street, that's more extrapolated to the geopolitical conflict going on in the Middle East between Israel, Hamas there in Gaza. And I was curious.
And that's very interesting to me there. It's a completely separate argument. You can go over there and have your Gaza-Palestinian argument. That's not what we're here for. That's what you're not there for in, Springfield, Ohio. That's not what we're here for in Boca. There's a time and place for the politicians to work out everything that's going on in Gaza. We're here to save our town. And I don't think the left is prepared for that. They want to run around talking about Gaza and free Palestine. Like, no. I'm not worried about that right now. The reason I'm standing out in this heat in New York City with these other people is because we care about New York. This is what we care about. This is what we want to defend. This is what the battle that we want to win. And that's where each one of you guys have to be prepared. Don't get involved in the other argument. I'm not here to argue with you about Palestine. That's not my problem. My problem is what you're doing here. And if you can confine it to, you're in my city, you're in my town, my neighborhood, my community. I'm not talking to you about Gaza and Palestine. I'm talking to you about Fifth Avenue. I'm talking to you about Hell's Kitchen. I'm talking to you about Harlem. I'm talking to you about the Upper West Side. I'm talking to you about Chelsea. Those are all different neighborhoods around New York City. We're not having that conversation about Palestine. And I'm loving how the people are framing that.
It's because I had to ask some of the Jewish New Yorkers here, the attendees of the protest, why are there some of these Orthodox Jews on the other side of the street? You would think that everyone would be on the same side of this issue, and that's not the case. It was explained to me that this is a very niche subset of the Orthodox Jewish community, the Satmar Hasidic Jewish community, small but loud, who disagree with Netanyahu's policies vis-a-vis the war. And of course, we're just coming off that video statement Mayor Mamdani made earlier this week saying he does not have the authority to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu when he steps foot here in New York City for the UN General Assembly later in September over that ICC, the International Criminal Court, arrest warrant out for him and his former defense minister, Yoav Galan. Of course, our viewers know the United States is not party to the treaty that formed the court. And so Mamdani acknowledging he has no authority to arrest Netanyahu when he comes to New York. And remember, that was one of his main campaign promises.
So why did he make that campaign promise? He had to have known he can't do it. I think it was to simply inflame the orcs. And now that they know, now that he had to come out and say, I can't do it, you would think that should have been the end of it. No, I want you to come out and protest when he lands in New York City. I want you to make his life and other people's lives hell while he's here in my city. That he wants this confrontation. He's spoiling for a fight. And that's why I think this could turn into something quite nasty. We will see very shortly. But this has all the makings, all the ingredients of an absolute powder keg going, boof, and a violent one at that. Because we know how they feel. And we know if he can motivate and activate the orc army, what they will do. They will go to hotels. They will go to restaurants. They will burn cars. They will do anything. And now you're going to put the New York police in this position where they're going to have to deal with all that.
Running for mayor in the first place, presumably letting some of his more progressive left flank acolytes down with that failed campaign promise now.
Socialist Mayor Zoran Mamdani is backing off of his threat to arrest Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu when he attends the United Nations General Assembly this September, admitting he does not have the authority to do such a thing. But Mamdani is still trying to fire up activists, urging anti-Israel protesters to make their voices heard when the Prime Minister visits New York. Watch.
I'm simply saying that this is a city where if anyone feels a level of frustration or opposition, protest is something that we will always respect.
Why would you say that? And no, you have to tell people, you would think you're a leader of a city, that, yes, you have a First Amendment right to go ahead and protest, but you don't get to act up and be violent. And if you do that, we're going to come down hard on you. But even then, why would you encourage it? Why even mention it? If they organize and do their own thing, but now you've made yourself a part of it, which is a big problem. You are now saying you are part of the protest.
I leave it to New Yorkers themselves to make that decision. And when it comes to Palestinian New Yorkers who are disappointed, I understand it. Because we are talking about someone who has been charged with crimes against humanity. Someone who...
You see the little smile? He keeps doing it. He's like a snake. Someone who's been charged with crimes against humanity by a court that doesn't really exist. It was made up, the International Criminal Court. It means nothing on our soil, except that you want it to mean something on our soil. That's the evil smile right there, is because he knows it's a kangaroo court. It means absolutely nothing, but it's just red meat for the people he's trying to, organize.
Has visited this city on many an occasion and who has been welcomed by previous mayors. And I want to make it very clear that that welcome ends with me. I will not be welcoming Benjamin Netanyahu or any other war criminals when they come to this city.
Joining me now in this Sunday Morning Futures exclusive is the man himself, the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. Mr. Prime Minister, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good to be with you, Maria.
So, Prime Minister, you just heard what Zoran Mamdani had to say. He's calling you a war criminal. You're not welcome in New York City. We, of course, also heard from President Trump on this and many others who said this is absolutely not happening. But what are your plans? Are you still going to come to the UN General Assembly? Are you concerned about coming to New York?
No, I'm not concerned, and I certainly intend to do so. I've appeared just about every year, not every year, but almost every year in my prime ministership, unless there are security conditions. But barring that, and I don't expect that to be the case this time, yes, I do intend to come to New York.
All right. So now you have the mayor, who's a Palestinian pal, who wants nothing to do with Netanyahu, has tried to put him in jail, has tried to invoke and execute the warrant for the International Criminal Court, which we don't even recognize as being a court. And the United Nations, which, that's a whole other story. Maybe we shouldn't even have their seat be in New York City anymore. But nonetheless, the mayor is saying, I will not welcome him. And at the same time, now Bibi Netanyahu's like, well, I'm certainly coming. And so what does that say? You got a cold front and a warm front ready to hit. That usually means big storm ahead. And again, it doesn't have anything to do with how you feel about Netanyahu or even Mamdani. This is about the people in New York having to deal with something they should have to deal with. You got a world leader, whether you like him or not. You got a mayor, whether you like him or not, who are an opposite mindset per se. And the whole thing here is about this idiocy of the International Criminal Court. If there was no warrant from the International Criminal Court, if there wasn't something that he could keep saying over and over and over to people, international war criminal, international war criminal, he's committed genocide. He's painting the picture that what's about to step foot into New York City is basically Dr. Evil. Why would you do that if you cared about the safety of your population? Not in Palestine, not in Gaza, not in Israel. You should be caring about how do I keep New Yorkers safe. Meanwhile, you're telling certain people the devil himself's about to fly into New York City.
The International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for you and your former defense minister for genocide. What is your response to this?
Well, the one who promoted that was the ICC, the International Criminal Court prosecutor, who has since been completely exposed as a criminal. He himself was accused, was going to face charges of sexual harassment by 2 women. He knew that. And he was going to come to Israel, and he spoke warmly about Israel's judicial system and the fact that there has to be an extensive investigation before any conclusions are gone. And on the day that he was supposed to visit Israel, he canceled everything, called a news conference, and accused me and the former defense minister of war crimes. Now, we learned why. Because a few days before that, he was basically confronted by his chief of staff, who said, you know, these 2 employees of you, female employees of yours, are going to charge you with the sexual crimes. So he thought, how am I going to divert my criminality to something that will protect me? And the best way, he thought, was Israel bashing, and frankly, bashing me, and thereby getting the envelope, the protection of all the anti-Israel crowd. And that's...
Why haven't we heard that? We have a large media. We just saw them at the banquet with President Trump. We have MSNBC, we have CNN, we have ABC, we have CBS, we even have Fox. How come nobody has explained to us that with what he just said right there, that the prosecutor who put the warrants out is now under indictment? Why are we hearing this from Netanyahu? Why is that not something that's talked about? It sounds so much like the whole thing that happened with Biden. If we don't have $5 million, yeah, you're not getting the money. Son of a bitch. Oh, we got the money. And then, of course, then, get rid of the prosecutor. And so I didn't know that until today. I didn't know that the prosecutor who created the warrant for the kangaroo court was himself under indictment for doing bad things to women. That would be a good thing for the rest of the country to know.
Basically what he did, and it worked for a while. But then the truth came out by various organizations, including the left-wing newspapers, The Guardian. And as it came out, he lost his job. He thought, if there's an indictment, I'm going to have a job. There was an indictment, and he lost his job because he was removed by a vast majority of nations who knew that he was a con job. So his name is...
He's about to name the name, and when he says the name, I wanted to stop it so you guys can write down the name and go verify. Use Grok, use ChatGTP. You probably won't find a story about it on any of the news sources, but he's going to name the name of the prosecutor who got in trouble, who created the warrant. And as of today, I had never heard this before.
Karim Khan, he pulled a con job on the international community with these bogus charges of war crimes on us. Now he's going to be in the dock. And I think that tells you that the whole thing that the mayor of New York is basing himself on, this criminals, bogus charges, that's what he's using. And look at what he's doing. He's fomenting hate.
Yeah, supposedly the Democrats and most of the libtards are so against hate. We don't want to have anything to do with hate. we want to make sure our brothers and sisters who want to lop off their junk and become women if they're boys and vice versa. No, we want to embrace that. Meanwhile, half a world away, the guys who say Allah Allah snack bar are driving trucks into parades. Funny, didn't hear anything about Mamdani from that. And they're stabbing people in New York City. Come on. Where's the hate? How come at this point you're not calling out the so-called hate?
He's supposed to be the mayor of all New Yorkers, Jews, Christians, Muslims, everyone. But he's trying to turn one group against the other, and he's foisting hate and fear. I speak to Jewish Americans in New York, and they're afraid right now. And I don't think it's accidental that after he made this hate speech against Israel and against me, the next day, a Jew is stabbed coming out of a synagogue.
Yep, I don't know if you know about that. Want to make sure you understand that the very next day, this guy got knifed out coming out of a synagogue by the snack bar people. Completely verifiable. That guy said, I'm done with New York. And he hightailed it down here to Miami. Moved his whole thing. I'm done. I'm done. I cannot live in this city. I have to escape from New York. More and more people are doing that, which I'll show you.
I think, and with a cry of Allah is Akbar, Allah Akbar. And you know what that means. So I think that it's shameful. This thing is very bad for New York. I think it's very bad for peace. But the answer to your question, I intend to come and speak the truth, speak for Israel. I mean, what Mamdani is supporting, his wife, his family, he celebrated October 7th massacre, the worst massacre against Jews since the Holocaust. He's basically supporting, he tries to say that he doesn't, but he's supporting the Hamas murderers who raped our women, then beheaded them, burnt babies alive, slaughtered our men, took innocent people hostages, 251 men, women, children, babies. That's who he's supporting. And they're the ones who are responsible for genocide. They would have killed, as their charter says, and as they themselves proclaim, they would have killed every single Jew in Israel and every Jew in the world.
It would be so very easy. I'm sure Mamdani has seen this today. It would be very easy at any time for him to come out and say, I condemn October 7th. It should never have happened. Even if I don't like Netanyahu, I don't think these innocent people who were at a concert, who are civilians, that shouldn't have happened to them. It's very easy. That's humane. That is the easiest bar of all to cross. Like, no, man, they weren't responsible that there's a war going on in Gaza. They were dancing. They had a party. Oh, they have to die because they're Jewish. What does that sound like to you? As much as we've been called fascist and Nazis and everything else, that's pretty fashy, pretty Nazi. You're killing people solely because of who they are. I guess the only thing they didn't do is take their teeth.
So the genocide charge belongs to our enemies. What we're doing is try to fight this genocidal terrorist organization that embeds itself among civilians, prevents us from moving the civilians out of harm's way. They use gunpoint. That's where the real criminals are. But Mamdani is aligning himself with the criminals, with these murderers. But the worst thing is that he's tormenting his own citizens, his own voters. No, that is wrong. And I've been to New York so many times, Maria, over the years. I've met all the New York mayors. They all saw themselves as mayors of all New Yorkers, not pitting one part of the population against the other.
And that's where we are. So when you have these two fronts getting ready to come together in a week or so, it doesn't look well, doesn't look good for New York City. I'll keep them in our prayers, but I think they're gonna need a lot of prayer. They're gonna need a lot of help, and the security is going to be absolutely insane. But it only takes one of these fools to get through. I don't want to know Netanyahu's routine. I don't know when he lands. I don't know what hotel he's going to be at, but I can tell you it'll be like Rambo type security. It would be military force security. But we shall see. I just think that Mamdani has put himself and put that city in such a position that it's going to explode because they want it to explode. Now, how does that affect us? Well, the more this stuff gets crazy and it's getting closer to the election, remember that ticket President Trump has in his pocket, and everybody has been waiting for an insurrection act or some sort of Jacksonian type thing. They're giving him an opportunity. In fact, if I were on the Democrat side, I'd be telling Mamdani, shut up. But I just wonder sometimes if they want it. Do they know they can't win? There was a graphic floating around over the weekend where it showed, where it showed that AOC is leading the pack of idiots to be the Democrat nominee for president. AOC. AOC is the head Democrat at this point by a lot. Way over Kamala, way over Gavin Newsom, way over Bernie. She's got the most support to be their presidential candidate, which tells you they got nothing. They know they have nothing. And so what would they like to do is hopefully stir everything up, then this thing just goes absolutely crazy. Because there's no way they can win. I don't care what influencer, I don't care what podcaster, I don't care what pollster keeps bitching about Trump. There is no possible way this country is going to vote for AOC to be president. In fact, when I heard she was leading, I'm like, you got to be kidding. Kamala, maybe, because she would get a lot of the black vote. Newsom, I don't know, because maybe he'd get California. AOC, after what happens this weekend, she may not even get New York. Watch what she says over the next couple days. She's going to have to find a way to distance herself from this as well. It ain't going to be pretty. It ain't going to be pretty. All right, it's Saturday. It's Sunday. I got a lot to go over. Let me bring SV and see what he's got right now. Hey, man, how you been?
Hey, happy Sunday. Doing all right.
Hope your day. Huh?
Yeah, the day was great. It went quickly. Cut number 1, I had to eliminate because you discussed that at the beginning of your show. So we're starting at 2. Just a
number 2. Let me find it here.
President Trump has been posting a ton of memes on Truth Social.
I have them all ready to show you guys after the break. Because
this one just came out. There's
a lot of winky wink happening.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
we'll give him a taste of what he shows.
All right, so this one here, President Trump posts a rendition of himself with President JFK at the White House. Both were massive threats to the deep state. Yeah, I don't know if I want him to post that one because that guy got his head blown off. So,
he almost did too, right?
That's true.
Look at that chart.
Yeah, man, wow,
scary.
That is quite scary that he posted that. Again, there's a whole bunch that he's got here. Let me see. What's this one?
The next one. I bet you didn't know that we have enough coal for another 600 years and more. Beautiful, clean coal.
You know why I don't know this? Is because I don't even know what coal is used for. That's my ignorance. I'm like, I've never had to put coal in something, but yeah, you're right. So go ahead, run with it.
Yeah, USGS uncovered enough beautiful, clean coal to power the U.S. for over 600 years. Under President Trump, we are working at Trump's speed to unleash secure, reliable, and affordable American energy. See, we don't have to go out of country. We have everything here. We have oil, like drill, baby, drill.
See, I don't know. I don't know if SB was looking up or not. He didn't see my new graphic there. Did you see my new graphic there? You didn't even see it. You were just talking.
Huh? Oh, I like that.
You got your own now. I'm like, yeah, look, I put that together. Sweet. I was like, yeah. So if I need to take a drink or something, you got your own ready to go.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you very much.
I had to work on it. I'm like, how do I do it so that he'll just have his? All right. This one here that you have, I don't even understand why this has been the way it is. Go ahead.
I deal with charts, and Trump put this out on Truth, showing that John Thune is completely feckless. So anyway, he's completely had it with him. He says John Thune blocking his recess appointments. So he just called him out by name on his Truth Social. He goes, "Where is John Thune? 0 recess appointments. Other GOP presidents get hundreds." So look at the chart. President Reagan 240. President Bush. Trump, 0. Data doesn't lie, man.
That tells you everything right there. That
Exactly.
literally tells you everything.
Clear.
That they don't want him doing any recess appointments at all. So,
Yep.
Unless there's some strategy with this, which I couldn't tell you that there is, something doesn't make
Thank
any
you,
sense
Lord.
with that. Not at all.
Yep.
Not at all.
And the last story, real quick, this just literally came out a few minutes ago. This shows you how screwed up Europe is with the suicidal empathy. At a vigil for the Berlin Pride terror attack, a singer got up and said that she had hoped that the attacker was white and Christian, but now it's confirmed that Abdullah is an Islamist with Middle Eastern heritage. I think he was Lebanese, excuse me. This is madness. Suicidal empathy is taking over Europe. This ideology must be obliterated or the West will lose. This is crazy. I don't know. And guess what? It's a white liberal woman, of course.
Of course. Of course. It's crazy. Absolutely insane how these people do. It is suicidal empathy. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah. All right. That's all I have for the moment. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right. That drives me crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, let me tell you guys about this new product that we have that we're working with. You know what's wild? When someone's bleeding out, the person who saves them usually isn't the paramedic. It's whoever is most prepared. And most of us, nothing in the car but Band-Aids. The National Institute of Health says 40% of trauma deaths happen from blood loss before help even arrives. That's what First Hour fixes, a real trauma kit, the same gear the medics in the ambulances carry. A tourniquet, an Israeli bandage, a gauze, chest seals, trauma shears, no training needed. Every item has clear instructions printed right on it. The NIH found that reading those plus a couple of short YouTube videos works just as well as a class you took months ago. It stops serious bleeding in seconds. It buys critical time. It fits in your glove box. It's waterproof. And I've got a special discount for you right now. One for the car, one for the home. So when it's a family, a friend, or a stranger on the highway, or a protester in New York City, scan the QR code or go to firsthour.com, or in this instance, go to fanfareshop.org/firsthour or scan the QR code directly. Grab yours today. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet who millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
SB mentioned a second ago that Trump has been hot on True Social. So I've got about 15 links on True Social that I got to run with you. And let me just bring SB on so we can go through all of these links. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
This is some crazy stuff.
I know.
All right. So the first,
Busy bee.
and I tried to put them in chronological order. First one he put up was Caitlin Collins, and again, no context. He didn't put up any text, and it's just a picture of Caitlin Collins as Dylan Mulvaney. Oh my gosh, he's definitely having fun.
Amazing resemblance, huh?
She's gonna be pissed off. The next one. This is very interesting. Again, no context, no text at all. It's just him throwing his SVI would look at this and say he's throwing his hat in the ring.
Yes.
Is that what you would look at that?
Oh, absolutely. There's a couple more. He does kind of the same thing. He's
we're
trolling the libs. He's going to get them all in a frenzy. I love it.
Now this one got me. It's a picture of obviously him and Joe Biden. He's looking like, what? Seriously? And okay, how did you look at this one? What was your interpretation of that one?
Looking at like, this is what you had. Stupid. Checklist. Useless. Right?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That or you let that guy keep going, and he admitted that he basically had a drool cup, and I still got my faculties around me, and you're telling me I'm demented, and you got this moron. Okay, and by the way, they get better. Look at this one. All it is some sort of artwork of him saying Trump 2028. So now that's two. You got the one where he was throwing his hat into the ring, and now he's showing everybody, here we go, stirring the pot. Yeah. Let's look at this one. I love this one.
Ooh.
Give the enemy nightmares. And then look what it says on the bottom. Trump 2028. Now,
again,
sometimes people have looked at these and they said Trump is reposting or retrooping somebody else. He's not retrooping. These are on, he's actually posting these. What's the next one? I thought this was odd. New era begins among the stars. The Cosmic Commander. And it says down below, coming soon, leadership, destiny, and beyond. And, he's got the Space Force thing going on.
I have a comment about this one. So, our old associate, that Mario dude that he had a post earlier because I'm still following him. So I see some of his messages. And he basically said that showing those memes, especially this one, show like he thinks he's more childish and all this other stuff. Like he's just degrading him. He doesn't understand what he's trying to do. But he's like, if you thought he's lost his mind before, now he has. Like, I mean, he flipped to the other side, to the dark side.
You see, the people who are being negative about these and saying things like that, they don't understand. He's communicating. He wants people to wonder, why did he put that up? There's something about that he wanted people to see. So you can take it that way. This one here it is again.
Another 2028.
Trump 2028. Make America great again. Showing him putting a hat on. Yeah, he could be just trolling them, but it could be something behind it.
Well, Barry, you said that he didn't say it was a joke.
Nope, he didn't. And I love this, but this is the one that should send chills up the spine of the people in Iran.
Whew.
I mean, that strike on Karg Island is the big oil spot in Iran, and the next few are directed towards Iran. The next one, I believe, is it's our oil tanker.
That actually as a meme that moves. You see him jumping off the boat into the water. I love it.
I think people animated it. I wanted to show the actual one. And by the way, he posted this one in different form about 5 different times. Like here it is. This one here, no more engines, and showing a boat being blown up with the Iranian name on it. And again, it's our oil tanker now with planting the American flag. So again, none of these there was no text associated with it. It's
We've
our
taken a
oil.
lot of their oil, man. I'm also quite amazed on how they drop a little bomb right down the smokestack to disable their engines. Like nobody gets hurt. It just stops it in its tracks.
I mean, so there's got to be some message behind the fact that he's posted 5 of these in a row, you know? And then this one.
I just posted that on my account. I love smoking a cigar. Forget about it.
Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. That's going to leave them having consternations. And then this one, basically, okay, this is where you're going to have to help me with history. Obviously, I know that's George Washington and Thomas Jefferson on the left, our left. Who is the guy on the right? Is that, I don't, Madison? Anybody know, recognize which president that is? Is that Monroe?
Yeah, they're all wearing those same wigs. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, but I recognize the other 2 faces. I'm sure somebody in the chat will tell us, oh, that's Monroe.
John Adams.
No, John Adams he was older.
Hamilton.
And who was it?
Hamilton?
People are saying Hamilton?
I've seen a couple. Yeah, Hamilton.
Huh,
Madison, Hamilton.
Interesting. What's it say on the bottom? It says, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And obviously he chose that 4th president, and that's not on Rushmore, so it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. I saw a meme earlier where they had Barron Trump walking up like a big Goliath behind Mount Rushmore, and Trump's face was on Rushmore, and he put a 2028 hat on it. Then he backed up, and he then put a 2040 Barron hat on.
The next one. Oh, this was interesting. The man who saved America. It shows him in high school, and as he started his real estate career, then New York, and then, of course, in his 2nd term there. So he posted that one, followed up with this one. That's interesting.
Look at the smirk.
But very interesting. Like he's behind a wall there. It's one of the columns at either the White House or one of the buildings, but he's behind it. Yeah. Almost like you miss me. So
he looks great for 80, man. I tell you what, that's what happens when you don't drink alcohol and smoke and all that, I guess.
Hold on, I hit the wrong button. No, that's us. So what do you make of all these? What do you make of all these?
I think it's a lot of comms, letting his enemies know he knows. The deep state, especially. I think he's letting them know that a lot of things are going to happen very soon and are happening.
Somebody said that they think that one was the mugshot. I don't think that was the mugshot picture. It's very close. It's very close to the mugshot, but I don't think it actually is the mugshot. And I see where people are saying, if it's not, no, it's not Andrew Jackson. I know Andrew Jackson. Maybe it could be Monroe, could be Hamilton as well. I'm not sure who that could be. But
I just, by the way, I just sent you a link of another one Eric just posted. Trump just posted this one. Check it out.
Another meme?
Yeah, it says President Trump drops this gem. Plan, trusted, panic in D.C. I love it. With the lightning bolt over.
Hold on. I'm trying to get to it.
I just sent it to you on X.
Okay, hold on.
At the very bottom.
All right, got it. Okay, this one he actually wrote something. This one he wrote President Trump. Oh, Eric wrote it. Okay, Trump didn't put anything. President Trump's this GM plan trusted. Now the animation that you see is not what Trump. Let me do this. Let me go to True Social.
AI.
Because that's something that those guys are doing to try and get around redundant content. Oh boy, he posted another one since that one. Hold on, wait a minute.
Really?
Yeah.
Busy day. Oh yeah, I see. Oh, I see that one. Yes,
he's got like three of them. Wait a second, where? I don't see that one anywhere. Oh my gosh!
All right,
this could have been like
Trump, Washington. Trump in Washington.
It's like every 30 minutes he's got something. I'm looking for it.
Well, I'm sure it's his team, but holy crap, they've been pretty busy today.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so now I found it. Wow. So it's just been one after the other, which is probably just freaking these people out. All right, here's the one that Eric put in together. And he went panic in DC. And this was at 4:52. He put that up.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure everybody's going to be looking through at 17th letter and trying to find a drop to go accordingly. Then he put here, plan trusted.
Look at that face. Wow.
That is a direct reference to trust the plan, obviously. This one is very interesting. 2028 Save America.
Look how young he looks. Wow.
But
he's got a flip phone.
And he's got a pig hat on. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. He is the troll king.
Every news show tomorrow will have these. Oh my goodness.
This is a good one too about John
Thune. Oh my
Dr. Trump.
oh gosh. Oh man. There's more. I like this one. This one is all right. In the top right, the little letters, they say the past was about to change history. The past was about to change. History was about to be saved, is what it says. And again, this is the same guy that. So if it's Hamilton, who the heck is that? It's not. It's
wasn't a guy person was like we were watching. He was talking on the other day. You were showing it. I don't know.
Oh, when the Democrats showed it or something, and their thing.
Yeah, Trump's wearing a cape there too. Look at him. He's like
Trump,
Superman.
Washington, a time travel epic.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And I think there's one more. No, that was the same one. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we took a a little bit of time and went down Trump lane there because he's been going crazy. And I know a lot of you guys don't have Truth Social, so man, that's a lot. I didn't know wow. Okay, let them wonder at this point. All right, so thank you, SB. Let me go.
Yeah, see you shortly.
I don't have time to start the whole intro thing, so I'm just going to jump into a commercial then the next segment because oh my gosh. Okay, all right, that was crazy. I mean, that's a hell of a stuff that he posted there. Let me get to this real quick. I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about some real estate, and it's based upon what's been going on up in New York. So have you heard about this, $17 million fraud scheme that targets elderly homeowners, especially in Los Angeles and down here too? A ring of 11 people in Los Angeles, including 2 foreign nationals, used fraudulent identities and public title records to forge documents and take out loans against their LA properties. And the homeowners didn't know anything. You wouldn't know anything. You wouldn't know anything about it. It is so simple. If you get something called a quitclaim deed and you want to, forge names and get a person with a notary stamp to stamp it, you can change the deed from John Smith to Joe Smith when nobody is ever going to challenge it. The people at the recording office, they're not there to verify. As long as it has a signature and it has a notary stamp, they will file it. And now these guys in California, despite multiple arrests, the homeowners are left to clean up the legal and financial nightmare. And if you're a homeowner without protection in place, this could be you. That's why I've partnered with Home Title Lock so you can find out today if you're already a victim and protect yourself or your loved ones against this growing crime. And it's like a silent killer. You won't even know it's happened until you start getting default notices, because after they change the title into their names, then they go out and try to devour your equity. They will take out a loan. They may even sell the property. I've actually seen it. Use promo code Barry at HomeTitleLock.com to get a free title history report plus a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring, urgent alerts in case somebody tries it. And if you're a victim of fraud already, they'll spend up to $1 million to fix it. By the way, just to let you know, Fixing a title theft is not easy. The attorneys aren't going to take it on contingency. It's going to cost you a lot of money. So it might be worth doing something like this to get you protected. So go to HomeTitleLock.com, promo code Barry, or use the link in the description below. So now let me talk to you about what's going on in New York and how it's affecting us down here in South Florida.
Flocking to Florida. At $1.8 trillion, the Sunshine State's economy now ranks 14th in the world, reportedly overtaking Australia and Mexico. Corporate America is buying in. Google quadrupling its Miami office footprint as its co-founders flee California for South Florida. But success comes at a price. In a report finding the cost of living in the Gold Coast, we're talking Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Palm Beach, now surpassing the cost of New York City for the first time ever. I want to bring in Fox News contributor and former Miami Mayor Francis Suarez. And you're also working with Ken Griffin and Stephen Ross to woo more companies to southern Florida. How can Miami keep prices down?
Well, first you have to recognize that part of the reason why that's happening is because demand is at an all-time high.
There you go. When people say stuff down here is too expensive, it's because demand is at an all-time high. It's a simple, immutable law of economics. The more people want something, the more expensive it is. So every time I hear people say, oh, it's too expensive down there, well, maybe for you, maybe for Fred, but there's people still buying, which means the supply, or rather the demand, is exceeding the supply, which causes the prices to stay elevated and to continue going up. It's not like that in every area of Florida, but down here in what's called the Gold Coast, especially with the people coming in from up north, man, it just keeps going up. And the two guys he mentioned Ken Griffin and he mentioned Stephen Ross. And Stephen Ross, many people know him as one of the owners of the Miami Dolphins, but he's actually a huge real estate developer. His company was called the Related Group, and they all kinds of condo and sky high buildings down in Miami. Ken Griffin is like a Citadel, I believe, is like a hedge fund. He also owns part of the Dolphins, and Ken Griffin is specifically the guy that Mamdani filmed about raising taxes. When he went out in the street, he goes, this guy who lives in this building has got this big $200 million condo. He doesn't even live here, so we're going to tax him. And so what do you think Ken Griffin says? Not me.
Want to come to Miami. When you create, and Palm Beach and Broward, when you create an ecosystem that is attractive to people, as opposed to what's happened in New York, where you have a second home tax, where you have, a mayor and a congresswoman at one point who said no to Amazon after they won the HQ2 prize and was openly hostile to businesses, you're going to have an impact. So Miami is slightly higher in cost of living, according to the study, than New York. But what the study doesn't tell you is how incomes are increasing. We have the highest median wage growth in America.
That's the part of the story none of the libtards ever want to include. Yeah, it's more expensive down here, but the income is higher as well. The income has raised in conjunction with the real estate pricing. And that's all because these guys, like Francisco Suarez and Ken Griffin and Stephen Ross and my old boss who owns an advertising agency, all these guys are cultivating business. Come here. You don't have to deal with these libtards. You don't have to worry about socialism. Ron DeSantis, I know some people don't like him. He's done one kick-ass job. He has made sure that people coming here from other states can park their business here and they can thrive. That's in addition to all the people, the high-income people.
In the Gold Coast area, broadly defined as Palm Beach through Miami, and how, we have much lower tax rate, including no state income tax, than the state of New York and the city of New York. So when you combine all that, it's much less expensive to live in our ecosystem than it is in New York. And we're...
Think about that. No income tax, no state income tax, all kinds of different perks that you get to live down here. And the libtards always want to point at Trump and Mar-a-Lago. They always want to talk about, his rich donor friends. I'm sorry, I don't hear them talking about, Nancy Pelosi, who's got a house up in Jupiter Island. I don't hear them talking about John Bon Jovi, who's got a big old house in Palm Beach. and more and more and more big-time celebrities who have spent tens of millions of dollars for their houses. But you never hear about that. You can drive up there and see where John Bon Jovi's big mansion is. And wait a minute, I thought you guys were anti-capitalist. I thought you didn't want to support big money. Why did you move up in Palm Beach Island? Even Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck bought a house up in Jupiter, I believe, too. I think it's in Jupiter. But they do it so quietly. They come down here, don't tell everybody. They go to their meetings, they stand on stage, they say the crap, but they're like, I got to go back home to Florida, okay?
Attracting people and they're repelling people.
Do you worry that when you hear stories about a firefighter or a teacher or a cop that can't afford to live in Miami, does that concern you about the affordability crunch that we're seeing, in particular in your former city that you were mayor of?
Of course, you want to make sure that, everyone who works in your city has an opportunity to live in your city. And we've done a variety of things, very differently, by the way, than what New York does. New York does things that make you feel good in the short run by government intervention that is holistic, like price controls, but creates housing shortages in the long run. What we've done is we've worked with the private sector, either through legislation such as the Live Local Act at the state of Florida level that has 69,000 units in the workforce and affordable housing range coming online. I put together a package of reforms in our zoning code called Miami 21, where developers could avail themselves of those reforms without ever even having to get permission from the council. That was a...
Can you imagine that? We have the opportunity to do all kinds of things, and we don't have to go fill out things in triplicate. We don't have to do that. Hey, listen, I like to put this development here. I like to buy this, like to do that. Hey, what's your plan? We're going to do it. Okay, get it done. And about the firemen and people, the logistics and not being able to afford here, true story. The guy who owns the pool company that cleans our pool and keeps it nice and sparkling. They're like, hey, how you doing? Come to find out, he's a firefighter. He was able to open up a business and got the opportunity to do all that because of the different incentives that are provided for people down here. So he's going to retire in a few years with his fireman's pension, firefighter's pension, and he owns a pool company.
An affordable housing piece of legislation, which created thousands of units of affordable housing.
I mentioned at the top of your introduction there about Ken Griffin. He is somebody that has been vilified by the mayor of New York City, him standing in front of his New York City apartment. I know that you're working with him now and Stephen Ross to do these build outs and to really continue to put the focus on Florida. Do you think Ken Griffin leaves New York?
I can't speak for Ken in that sense, but what I can tell you is that he has taken dramatic action and made some pretty bold statements after he was singled out and attacked by the mayor of New York. By contrast, in Miami, we're doing everything.
Yeah, that's the commercial where he's standing in front of Ken Griffin's building. Ken Griffin has a big penthouse or so in that building, and right after he got elected, he decided he was going to attack Ken Griffin. One thing you can't do, one thing you should never do, is try to think you're going to pigeonhole people with money, with that kind of money, with FU money. That's how much money Ken Griffin has. And he's buds with, like I said, Stephen Ross, and he's buds with President Trump. You can't beat these people. They've squashed you like a bug.
We can to make him feel welcome. He's one of the largest philanthropists that we have, along with Steve Ross and others in our community. And so we want those people to be successful. We want their companies to be successful. He's about to make a multi-billion-dollar investment in a commercial tower in the city of Miami, which is going to create, more space for more companies to come to the city. And that's something that we're also getting record high rents in terms of commercial spaces, and we have record low vacancy rates. So that all demonstrates that the Miami economy is thriving and that's going to increase wages, which is the other component of affordability, right? You can afford things if your wages go up, even if your costs go up as well.
No, it's funny. I'm looking at a chat. Don't worry, man. I'm not doing it. It says, I hate how Barry puts all our Florida business out on Front Street. Stop. We don't want all those New Yorkers here. We want the ones who can afford to be here. We want the ones who can spend money. We want the ones that can employ people. We want the ones who understand that we don't want to be libtards. We got to get the hell out of New York. And I love your comment because it's absolutely timely, because right about, I think the next thing out of her mouth is, what about, are you worried about these people coming down to Florida and voting liberal? Let him answer this.
Well, New York, California, and New Jersey are among the top states driving the exodus to Florida. The migration wave continues, but there's concern now that they're going to bring their politics with them down to Miami. Does that?
Before he answers, let me just tell you, you got 50,000 thus far have come to run down from New York, 40,000 from California, 30,000 from Jersey. That's 120,000. If he doesn't mention it, I'll mention it, but I'll tell you in advance, the voter registration for the first time ever, we have like 3 million more Republican registrants than we do Democrat. It's not even close. It's so overwhelming at this point. What Ron DeSantis has done, which God, I hope the next governor does just as well. This is no longer a swing state. You don't hear them talking about Florida as a swing state. It's over. It's done. We are red.
Where are you?
Well, I have to give the governor a lot of credit. One of the things he's done in the state of Florida is really focus on registration. And whereas Florida used to be a purple state, now it has about 1 million vote registration advantage for Republicans. We did see Miami-Dade County and the city of Miami go blue, which I think is oftentimes a reaction to our success. In other words, people that are liberal or socialist, and I'm not saying that those particular mayors are socialists, but people who are liberal oftentimes will try to make the counter argument that our success is really someone else's failure. We have to make sure that we continue to explain to people why Republican and conservative policies are what drive the most prosperity and not some of these liberal and or socialist policies.
I just wanted to include that as we were talking about Mamdani and the stuff that he's doing. The guy who got stabbed, the actual guy who got stabbed on the Upper West Side, next day, I'm out, and came down here. And so I welcome New Yorkers who don't bring the insane attitude, the ones who realize, you know what, I want a better way of doing things. I want a better way of life. It's a shame because many people just love New York City, but now they're realizing I can't put up with this stuff anymore. Watch what happens if things blow up in the next couple, weeks. What's going to happen to that city if it does turn into Escape from New York? I wouldn't want to be up there, and I know a lot of other people don't want to be up there as well. Now I'm going to keep moving because I got a couple things I want to show you. This is a good one. Again, talking about, well, it's not directly about Mamdani, but oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All of you guys know that Mamdani wants to do these free government-run supermarkets up in New York City. Well, there's a little bit of news that came out today that a lot of people aren't talking about and a lot of people don't know. I'd be surprised if you guys have heard this. Listen to this.
In Chicago, progressive policies are on full display where grocery stores in predominantly minority neighborhoods have been forced to close, leaving residents scrambling, and the city is blaming Trump's cuts to the SNAP program despite pumping $13 million worth of taxpayer money into them. It's unbelievable. Now these grocery stores, of course, are reaching out for private investment. We'll get to that, but just don't take it from us. Take it from the Chicago residents who are dealing with it and impacted directly. Listen to this.
There's going to be an impact on the community and people close nearby that they won't be able to get necessities and what they need at a convenience for them. I mean, it's going to affect the community for sure. Everybody going to have to travel out now and go to big grocery stores. And what about the people who don't got transportation that ain't able to make it to the big grocery stores?
That's a reasonable store in the neighborhood, The rest of them around here is so expensive.
I hate that the people they talk to, they all look like me. The commonality here. The commonality to me is like the saucer of milk that you put outside for the kitten. And that kitten will just keep coming back because it wants that saucer of milk. Instead of questioning, why is it that I have to depend on free government food? Why do I have to depend on SNAP benefits and government cheese? What is your mayor that you guys always vote Democrat? The governor, you always vote Democrat. Why is it they are not helping the poor peoples like they say all the time in every election?
So Chicago's, the city of Chicago ended up funding this grocery store. It's called Save-A-Lot. And there was a lot of investment into it. And yet, in a very short period of time, they had to close. There's multiple reasons why this happened. One is if you go online and you look up this particular store, this chain, you'll see a lot of TikTok videos of people stealing. So there was also...
So you moved into the neighborhood. You took taxpayer dollars from obviously not the people who live in the neighborhood. You took taxpayer dollars from other people. You put almost $14 million into opening these cheap and free food stores. And even though it was cheap, you had people shoplifting and making TikTok videos about the stuff they stole. This isn't Trump's problem. This is not anything to do with the American taxpayers not giving you enough. There's a serious problem in the hood. And I don't know how Mamdani thinks he's going to make it happen. All these stores just closed. They blew $14 million.
A lot of theft going on. And as you know, grocery stores operate on a very slim margin. And so you have a city that doesn't monitor or have a lot of repercussions for crime. And then it causes this to happen. The other part, though, and it's worth noting, is that there were changes to the SNAP program. And this particular grocery store, they said 30% of their sales depended on people using their SNAP and EBT. And those changes, they say, also impacted the bottom line for the store.
What bottom line? You're basically stealing from us. You were telling us my business model, maybe they were thinking like it's Section 8 for food, but it's different. You're telling me that you were taking taxpayer dollars and making these stores for free. And as you're making these stores for free, you couldn't, the consumption volume, how much these people eat, what they were eating, how much it costs, and now you took the SNAP benefits away and we can't make any money. Never mind the fact is, why did they take the SNAP benefits away? Well, fraud. How about the work requirement? How about getting off your ass and getting a job? Then you wouldn't have to worry about SNAP. Again, to me, it's the analogy of putting the saucer with milk out, and that kitten never knows that they need to go hunt. They need to go find some food.
But the bottom line, though, is, Charlie, this is not exactly a free market grocery store, and it's not operating well. And if that's the future, I don't know.
And it's a sad reminder that governments are really terrible at running things. Should have access.
Governments are really terrible at running things. Why would that be? Well, if you've been watching anything with these people in New York, the reason why government's terrible at running things is because the people in charge never ran anything. AOC was a bartender. Now she's a leading candidate for president in the Democrat Party. She's never done anything. Mamdani, never done anything. I'm sorry, a community organizer does not have any merit to it. The other socialists run around, 26, 27. What have you done? I went to college and then I went to some protests, so I should be in office. How the hell are you supposed to run a business if you've never even run a lemonade stand?
A grocery store, just like everybody should have access to a doctor. And having a grocery store nearby really changes your entire life, your family's life.
Frustration from Governor Pritzker after a number of Save-A-Lot grocery stores are slated to close for good tonight unless a last-minute deal can be reached. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jackie Bang. Bryant McCrae is live with the latest. Bryant.
Yeah, good evening. Those closures taking place in areas called food deserts, primarily in low-income areas or far away from fresh food or supermarkets. Tonight, people in the community say they're not surprised by these closures. A parking lot on Chicago's South Side slowly clears out as a grocery store called Save-A-Lot prepares to say goodbye. The closure coming at no surprise for Southside resident John Kali Emodaji.
It's the same old story, to be honest with you. And it's not just here, it's nationally when it comes down to black communities.
The Save-A-Lot.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I don't even like how they framed the story. I don't like how they just put that and use that cut because, yeah, it's the same story across the country in the black communities. Why? Why is it the same story across the country in the black communities? That's the problem. That's the disease. That's what we have to diagnose and fix, not give them, cheap and free stuff. I saw somebody in the comments say it's not free. Oh, you wait, you're going to see something. But why are we having to address anything but the actual dilemma? Why is it you need this? Why have you needed it for decades? Why can you not exist on your own 2 feet? Remember, I'm not talking about people who can't work. I'm not talking about people who have any sort of mental or physical infirmity, but obviously the people you've seen thus far, no, they don't have that. So what is it that you need to have SNAP and free or very cheap food? And then why is it always in the black community? What the hell is going on? Well, I know what's going on. If anybody has ever done any work or lived in the black community, you know too many people have been coddled and everything's given to you. Don't come at me. I'm the wrong person to come at. My father, he built his business in the hood. Everything we had to do in his construction and how we had to renovate the apartments year after year because of the people who lived in them. I've seen it firsthand. I've mentioned on this show many times, I can take you back to certain neighborhoods in Connecticut and there's still ghettos and some of the people's descendants are still living in them. Why? What is it? And now you got the whole Democrat Party catering to that. You don't got to do anything. We'll give you universal basic income and, we'll give you this and we'll give you that. And you don't need any ID. That way you can just keep getting it.
Shuttering its doors after the city backed the operator with $13.5 million in taxpayer financing.
$13,492,000 is what they spent on these grocery stores that completely failed. Oh, by the way, it was only within 2 years. It didn't take a long time for it to go down the drain. They burned through nearly $14 million quickly.
It was a part of a roughly $26 million deal to buy and rebuild 6 stores on the south and west side. The operator, an Ohio company called Yellow Banana, agreed to keep them open for 10 years. The stores didn't make it 2.
Give us $13 million. We'll keep these stores, as they are for 10 years. Oops, we couldn't make it 24 months. 24 months to blow through $13 million. How the hell does that happen? Why are they not pouring all over their books? Hey, how did you guys spend $14 million? Oh, I can tell you, because the grocery business runs on a 1% to 3% margin. Most of these people probably don't even know what a margin is. They think it's a store, the people are making money, we can steal, we can do whatever we want. You've heard them talk. What did that guy on Martha McCallum say? Nobody deserves a 10% or double-digit return. And so the grocery stores, they make their money on volume. It's only a 1% to 3% return. And I've never, I asked Robin today, Robin, has there ever been anywhere where we've lived where a grocery store has gone out of business? Nope. Why is it happening there? Well, one, because people who run Publix probably know how to do grocery stores.
A lot in the city, both pointing to cuts in federal food assistance.
I heard that the the federal government had a little hand in this particular one. Save-A-Lot is unfortunately the first casualty.
Yeah, so immediately blame MAGA, blame the Republicans. How about look around at the people who come to the store and say, why don't you have a job? Why is it the Republicans? Why is it Washington is the bad guy? Because they need it to be the bad guy. That's how they keep them voting. There always is a monster under the bed. That's their problem. They have to have the monster under the bed. In this regard, it's Trump. It's Trump's administration. They made it so you can't get your donuts. You can't get your Dolly Madisons because of Trump. Anybody got a mirror? Anybody got a mirror you can hold up to these people and go, what are you doing? How are you trying to feed yourself? Are you working?
NBA event Saturday. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker touting the work he's done to keep grocery stores open.
I put an initiative in several years ago called the Illinois Grocery Initiative, and what it does is literally help people start grocery stores.
However, people who live in these...
How the hell are you going to start a grocery store? That's not just a business where you show up and go, you know what? I want to start a grocery store. So number one, I got to get a lease. Anybody know what a lease looks like? Should I go to some website, download one? All right, so now where do I get all the equipment? The refrigerators, the coolers, and all that stuff. What? Do you know how long it would take someone to learn how to run a grocery store? Maybe about 2 years.
Areas say they believe it's only a matter of time before another grocery store goes dark.
Hope is abstract. Action is key.
A spokesperson for Save-A-Lot says the stores saw a 26% decline in SNAP purchases. They also told me Yellow Banana is exploring options to keep these stores open, but if that doesn't happen, the stores will be closing this Saturday.
Yeah, and they closed. Your revenue decreased by 26% because your customers weren't really customers. Your customers were just people who had SNAP benefits and they couldn't do anything themselves. And so as the SNAP benefits went away, there goes your business. That means you didn't know how to run a grocery store. You just realized, hey, we get a whole bunch of money from the government. Every month these people get a refill on their EBT card, so we just keep going. But how did it happen so fast? If people lost their EBT money, sometime since Trump got in office, where'd the 13 million go? I mean, that means you were on thin ice before they cut those SNAP benefits. That means you were barely making it. And then when the SNAP benefits went, over the edge you went.
This will become a food desert. Finding grocery stores in this neighborhood is already as hard as it is.
Every day, you'll find these dental assistants shopping at Save-A-Lot near 79th and Halsted.
So the dental assistants, i.e. they have jobs, they're able to fend for themselves, but they're going to Save-A-Lot because they can save a lot.
On their lunch break.
You have to think about those that are on fixed income, like the elderly people. It's affordable for them. It's close. It's accessible. So I really think it would be really detrimental to shut this store down within this community.
The store is in Alderman David Moore's ward.
What I hope happens next is that Yellow Banana finds another supplier that they can work with. That's what I'm hoping.
The city.
Another supplier that they can work with is going to want cash. And they're fresh out of $13 million. Hey, yeah, I'll supply you with the, groceries. I'll get you some beef and some potatoes. Pay me. They're not going to give it to them for free. They're not going to donate it to them. So how are they going to get the money if they've already blown through $13 million?
Tells us Yellow Banana, Save-A-Lot, the city, and other financial partners are discussing opportunities to keep the stores open with potential investors or new suppliers.
You imagine reading that investment plan and somebody hands it to you and says, yeah, we need some investment money because we've blown through 13 million in 24 months and our business was dependent upon EBT cards. We don't have that anymore. And we'd like you to put some money into us. Number one, how are you going to generate revenue? Number two, what's my return? I'm not doing it out of the goodness of my heart. Oh, that's right. You don't believe anybody should ever have a double-digit return, as the little socialist said on television. So what investor's going to do that? Maybe the cartel.
There were ribbon cuttings and grand reopenings after the city gave Yellow Banana $13.5 million to help refurbish 6 of the 7 stores, which are supposed to stay open through 2035. If they close, they must reopen as grocery stores within a year. The city's also looking at ways to recoup taxpayer funding if necessary.
I'm going to continue to do my part to make these necessary investments. The hope is that, our corporate leaders can come together to find a way. Again, the federal cuts have had profound impact on our local grocery stores.
Know the struggle.
It's sad when the mayor of these big blue cities, the Mandamis, Brandon Johnsons, the mayors of these cities are telling you they're like Somalia. Our city cannot stand on its own. Our city cannot be sovereign. Our city only exists based upon the kindness of others. Remember the movie Blanche Dubois, I think her name was, Streetcar Named Desire. So you're telling everybody we can't function. The Chicago Bears waved goodbye to you. But somehow these people keep getting elected over and over and over when it's failure after failure after failure.
Well, I was there. I saw it. So it's like, man, another blow to the community, and ain't nothing we can do about it.
All right. Listen to this very closely. I want you to really dig in here, turn up your volume, and listen to this.
We have nothing. So I don't know what we're going to do. There's nothing around here. No stores. This is basically the only store you can come to. That you get fresh produce and get groceries for little or nothing.
Say what?
That you get fresh produce and get groceries for little or nothing.
There you have it. You get groceries for a little bit or nothing. That's not a business model I want to get into. That's not a business model any investor wants to get into. So what'd you just say? So you have been getting free food from this place. So there's something, I bet you that how many even people in the chat are like, Barry, it's not free. Oh, it's free for some people. It's a place we can go where we can get a little bit, or it's free. That needs to be investigated from a complete societal breakdown position, a perspective of, wait a second, you're telling me the people in this community cannot eat unless you give them free food. And yet you keep voting for these same scumbags. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Somebody goes, that's a food pantry. And not for $14 million, it wasn't. George Clooney and his commie wife should never be allowed on American soil. Yeah, they should give some money. That's the line. I've always relied on the kindness of others, if you haven't seen that movie. What low IQ people vote for commies, they believe what they say. Oh yeah, and the food is always going to be food that's close to the expiration date, the born on date. Crazy. Easiest solution, stop stealing from them. There's a good point. I can't help it. I can't believe all the people who steal at self-checkout. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Hey Barry, sorry, I was just getting back. I was just getting back from the grocery store to get my Dindu muffins.
Dindu muffins. And it was funny because I saw that like in a tweet, and then I looked it up. I'm like, is this true? And I'm thinking to myself, Mandami is talking about doing free grocery stores up in New York. And here we are, literally just a few months later, and an entire chain in Chicago right down the drain.
Once again, socialism, communism never works.
It doesn't work.
You'll never find an instance where it has ever worked.
And right? You saw that a little bit of it was on Fox and some of the local news channels, but you won't hear it on CBS and ABC or anybody else. It's just like, don't say anything. He's going to open up these great grocery stores. And now we find out that he won't have any hot foods. He won't have disaster waiting to happen. You got anything new?
Two stories. Cut number 6 and 7. I have a
Todd Blanche
update. Yes, sir.
It's Sunday night.
Apparently,
It's Sunday night, and this stuff's still rolling, huh?
oh
Wow.
yeah, he never stops working apparently. Anyway, Todd Blanche confirms that Illinois is hereby banned from giving discounted in-state tuition to illegal aliens. That should be a no-brainer. DOJ has won in federal court. Blanche says Illinois gave in-state tuition to legal aliens and treated American students like second-class citizens. That's unconstitutional, and we sued and won. The Department of Justice will fight any state that puts illegal aliens ahead of American citizens. I mean, it's amazing.
Illinois, right?
Yeah, Illinois.
So now they can't get free school, and now they also can't get free groceries.
That's one thing, man. Eventually, they're going to want to go back where they get some free stuff. Never mind.
And they can't watch the Chicago Bears. So I'm like,
the Bears,
the best. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's too much. Just
and other stories about
failure after failure. All right, so what do we got here?
Scott Presler. So he's going full primary mode, confirming a challenge to Senator James Lankford of Oklahoma in 2028 if he does not support staying in D.C. through recess to pass the Save America Act. He says Lankford is up for election in 2028. He has not agreed to stay in D.C. until the Save America Act is passed. He's asked Thune and his allies daily for over 200 days to get the bill done. This guy's working his butt off. Mm-hmm. Time is running low. Ram it through and win or run on a record of failing to secure elections. Amazing guy.
Wait, did you see what Mike Lee is doing?
Yeah, he said something early. He was pretty strongly. He's been saying the same thing for a long time now. I mean,
now supposedly there's some rule in the Senate. It only takes one senator to complain, and if that senator complains, you can't go on recess. So we'll see if he stays on board with it. But you might want to. Well, actually, it's in the next section. I've got him talking.
All right, before you go on to that, I just quickly sent you a link. You talked about this earlier. The community notes. This is amazing. Remember, the Times said a car plowed through a park, in Germany. Did you see that?
All by itself, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just thought there was. I mean, seriously. I mean, the news is trash. I mean, the community note says the reality is this was done by Islamic terrorists. It was his choice, not the cars.
Yeah, I posted that earlier. Like,
I know.
What are all these? This car just decided to somehow it activated its horn, and its horn said, "Fire."
Oh God! I mean, they have not leared their lesson. They're going to continue to do this gaslighting and lies. I mean, I'm so glad what. I was going to say, I'm so glad what Trump did this during the correspondence thing. I mean, I love the beating he gave them. I mean, he's letting them know that he's not taking his. I'm going to say he's not taking his shit anymore.
The biggest gaslighting evidence you have is that you have so many people in the LGBTQ movement that support the guys who run over people at LGBTQ events.
It's insanity. It's crazy.
I'm like, how can it possibly be? They will take you and see if you know how to fly. They will do all kinds of things to you, yet you support them. It just makes no sense. And you're a big fan of the movie. You saw it, Citizen.
Citizen Vigilante. Oh
Citizen
I watched
Vigilante.
it 3 times already.
Did you see the video that the director put out today?
No. Okay.
I can't show it on here, obviously, because these people would be pissed off. But go look up the director of the movie. He put out an 8-minute video, and in that 8-minute video, he basically said, "You still think I was over the top with this movie? You hate me for it?" And it actually happened. And I mean, he was pissed. He's like, "Hey, I put the movie out. People flame me. You shouldn't have made this movie. It's going to be incendiary towards those people." And here we go. Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting. I was going to say, I'm waiting for the, he's going to do a version for the United States. I've heard, I'm not sure it's locked in yet, but yeah, it's gonna cause quite a ruckus when that happens.
And his look him up. His name is what? Yui Bowl or something like that. Yeah, so he's got a weird name, but you'll find it where he put that. All right,
I'll find it and I'll post it in the chat, folks.
Yeah, because it's a really interesting video of basically vindication. Like, you people all trash me, but look where we are now.
And it's going to happen again, unfortunately. All right, see you soon.
Oh, it won't stop. There's no reason for it to stop. They'll keep doing it. All right, let me take a break here real quick. Excuse me. Have you ever looked at one of today's biggest investment stories and thought, boy, I wish I'd got in on that sooner myself? Maybe it was AI. Still not too late. Maybe it was SpaceX. Definitely too late. It seems like by the time the rest of us hear about an opportunity, the biggest gains have already happened. But what if the next opportunity isn't the headline? It's what's making the headline possible. And I'm talking about silver. Silver is a critical material behind the AI revolution. It's used in that technology that powers the data centers that everyone's complaining about. It works in advanced electronics, the robotics, and even the infrastructure AI depends upon. Here's the thing. You don't want to be learning about this after everyone else catches fire. Remember, silver's price prediction is still projected at $150 an ounce, and silver has been stuck around 60 bucks an ounce for quite some time. That's why I want you to get a copy of Lear Capital's free report, free, The AI Revolution explains why so many investors are buying silver at today's low price. I don't even check today. Hold on, I can tell you right now what silver is as we speak. We're looking at, it's over 60. It went up 2% since 6:30. So it's volatile, it's moving. Buy low, sell high, folks. If AI keeps growing the way many experts expect, the demand for silver could grow right along with it in the years to come. Call Lear Capital at 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. And while you're on the phone, ask how you can qualify for up to $20,000 in bonus silver. I've owned silver for years because I believe in having tangible assets as part of a diversified strategy. Whether you decide it's right for you is your decision. But before you make your decision, make sure you're informed. That's why you can get this free report. Get the facts before everyone else is talking about it. Call 800-601-5430, 800-601-5430, or go to learberry.com.
Back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
It's time for a Fanfare news update.
Okay, so let's start there. The Wall Street Journal editorial board, after this report this week, says New Jersey's screw-up is another reminder that illegal voting isn't a myth, and vigilance is important. I know in the Commonwealth, because I voted there many times, Virginia has voter ID. Is that something we should be discussing for everyone?
You know, and New Jersey has voter ID as well, Shannon, and this was a very unfortunate glitch. Importantly, it wasn't that individuals were trying to vote illegally. There was a computer glitch that when they registered for driver's licenses and said they were non-citizens, the glitch got them mistakenly classified as citizens and registered them to vote. And about 400 did vote in the 4 million New Jersey residents who voted in 2024. I think the right answer here is voter ID laws passed at the state level.
Wait, it never happens. It happened a little bit, and now what we need to do is have voter ID at the state level. Give these people a couple weeks. By the time we get to September, maybe they'll be talking about the Save America Act. We literally went from it never happens to it's a right-wing conspiracy. It never happens. And it only happens a little bit. And maybe we need state ID at the state level. Seriously? These people are completely lost.
This is not something that was ever publicly announced, right? So the general public doesn't even know about this. But like George Soros's organization, for instance, they put out a pledge to only fund organizations in the Democratic Party that were led by people of color for 5 years.
So he had his own little set-aside program. I'm going to use my billions to basically fund black activists and organizers who've already been in existence for 5 years. I don't know. That sounds kind of racy to me.
Which is, I mean, I saw personally people that were turned down for jobs because, the organization realized they needed to have like the right identity leading their organization, or they could be denied funding. And it had a real systemic effect. I myself, was pressured at times. There was a lot of social and peer pressure to not hire white men.
This is the same. By the way, she's a former Democratic operative who used to help raise money for Democrats. And we're finding out that, again, the same thing they accuse the Republicans of is what they do. They're the ones who are racist. The reason why they can recognize racism because they're the ones being racist. Oh, no, don't hire any white people. We only can hire black people. And by the way, George is giving us the money for all the black peoples.
Especially, I feel very bad about this, but, this book is called Confessions of a Democratic Operative, so I have to confess my own sins too, right? I was in positions of hiring, and when I would get resumes, the very first thing I did is Google their names on the internet to see what their race was, to see if they were a man, and if they were.
Hey, John Smith wants a job. Oh, let's see what John Smith is. Oh, I see his picture. He's a white guy. Gone. Done. That's who the Democrat, that's how they were picking. No wonder their party is in a complete poop hole.
I didn't set up interviews with them. And this happened all throughout the Democratic Party. There was a systemic push in the party to discriminate against white people. And it came down on high from the very highest levels of the party.
There's so much coming out right now. The media can't tamp it down. There's just an overwhelming amount of stuff coming out about the Democrats. And we only need to look at the people who are at the, basically the head of it right now. The AOCs, the Bernies. Now you got the socialists, and you got Mandami. And you realize this is a scam. These people were never picked because of their ability. And then you look at what happened in Maine, and they picked the Nazi, and they basically, after he got caught doing all kinds of stuff, then they put somebody else in who did all kinds of stuff, and the people never got to vote, even though it's a white guy.
You were an early supporter in Maine of Graham Plattner. You helped him rise. Do you regret not acting earlier to call for him to drop out, given the warning signs? Would that have given you a leg up here with Jackson?
No, I don't think so. When we heard the serious allegations made against them,
I wanted to get on the phone. I wanted to talk to him. I did.
Stop, Bernie, you lying piece of crap. When we heard, you're telling me in a major election, you've been around since, I don't know, you probably played went to high school with Jesus. You've been out there all this time. You understand how campaigns run. You understand how campaigns get vetted. You understand you turn over every rock. And now you're pretending as though I didn't know till it came out. There's only two explanations. You're lying or you're incompetent. And unfortunately, it could be either one.
I asked, along with virtually all his supporters, that he should get out of the race, and he did.
You are confident that with your endorsements, these other candidates have been fully vetted?
Well, look, I think...
Wrong answer. I hate Margaret Brennan. I don't like how she treats Republicans, but she just threw Bernie a softball, and he couldn't answer it. So you feel these other guy he's fully vetted. That means there's going to be stuff coming out about this guy. You can mark it down, 7 p.m., July 26th. This new guy that they put in Maine, there's going to be stuff coming out. He didn't have a definitive yes. It'll be very simple. Oh, yeah, we vetted him. He's good. He's good to go. Huh?
There are hundreds of candidates. I don't know who has been, quote unquote, fully vetted.
Well, you just mentioned two of them.
All I know is the candidates all I know is, Margaret, that the candidates that we are supporting are standing up for the working class of this country.
Wait a minute. That's not what I asked you. I asked you, have you vetted this new guy? Hey, Margaret, all I know is that he's trying to stand up for communism or something. That's not what I asked you. I asked you, Bernie, have you vetted the guy? So right now, based on that answer and how fidgety he got, you can count there's going to be some more dirt coming out about this guy, undoubtedly. How could he have gone on CBS News? Because even if there wasn't, now there's got to be people digging. How could you come on CBS News and not be able to answer that question and knock it out the park? Have you vetted him? Oh, yeah, we've gone inside and out. We stuck a microscope under his butt. We know everything. We know he does not bleed out of his butt once a month. Oh, no, he's a real man. Even Liz Warren said he's my kind of man, just like she said about the other guy. And Bernie's eyes were like, oh, I don't know. Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
I think one of the things that some of those who are winning their primaries and will likely be in office want to know is if you are going to agree to hold votes on abolishing ICE, opening borders, things of that nature. Will you?
Simple question. Your compatriots or comrades there that are getting elected nowadays, they want to do all this stuff. And you're the speaker. Not speaker, but you're the minority leader. You going to do it? Good question, Dana.
Well, I've spoken to several of the incoming members of Congress across the ideological spectrum. Not a single person has raised those issues.
What are you talking about? Not a single person has raised those issues. That's all they talk about. I don't understand, I don't know if you guys watch it, but I watch the political shows. It's almost as if the establishment Democrats are completely stuck in quicksand or something, and they don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. That was easy. Are you going to bring these up for a vote? Yeah or no? Yes or no? No, we're not going to get rid of the Senate. We're not going to do that. We're not going to stack the Supreme. No, we're not going to do any of that. I don't know nothing about it. Seriously? Seriously?
So we're going to put up on the screen a few of the things that
you're about to know about it
that are part of your platform. And I want to ask you, just give me sort of a true or false on these. Abolish the Senate.
True.
Okay. Replace the presidency and Supreme Court as we now know them.
Yep.
The problem we're having is we can joke about it, But you can never let these people, you can never take these people and say they didn't tell you. They look you right in the camera. Yep, we're going to get rid of the presidency. We're going to get rid of the Senate. Yeah, what else you got? Yeah, we're getting rid of all this stuff. They're not even trying to fool you. You got to give a little credit for the complete honesty and lack of decorum. We don't give an F if you know. This is what we're going to do. So not a single one of you can ever say, I didn't know this was going to happen. They're telling you the enemy is getting armed outside and inside the gates, and they're telling you straight up, we're going to destroy your country. Deal with it.
Abolish ICE.
Absolutely.
Abolish borders and give amnesty to anyone currently in the U.S. illegally.
As a long-term plan, yep.
That means no more America. At that point, I could, Shannon, let's cut the, you don't have to say that. Is your objective to destroy America? I mean, because that's what you're saying. No president, no borders, no Supreme Court, no Senate. Yeah, that's what you're telling us, right? You're saying, screw America. And it seems like Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer have no idea what to do. Oh my gosh, they're winning. What do we do with these people? Well, first and foremost, if you stand for America, it should be an easy decision. We know that Bernie already sold out. We already know Bernie waved the white flag and has taken his comrade dollars. Are there other than Fetterman, are there no Democrats who are willing to stand up in front of these people? Because if you don't stand up in front of them, then you're complicit in what they do. This big tent stuff, you can shove that.
Defund the Pentagon.
Absolutely.
Abolish prisons, at least in large part.
Yeah, again, that as part of a long-term program, yeah.
Okay,
so we're going to open the border. We're going to eliminate funding for the military. We're going to do away with the judges, the Supreme Court. And we're going to just wide open the prisons. Let everybody out. There's no laws that you can't break. What? This is like cuckoo. And you get people like Hakeem Jeffries like, no, you have to know. We all know. I play it so you guys can know. There's no differentiation. They are not trying to obfuscate. They're telling you straight up, laughing in your face, Shannon. And even Shannon's like, you got to be kidding me, right? No.
No prisons. Government or public ownership of most large corporations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. This is where we are, 2026, and we are on the precipice of people trying to take over our country. And we got people like we saw at the White House Correspondents' meeting mad because President Trump was poking at Caitlin Collins. How does that not piss you off, Caitlin? How does that not piss you off, Wolf Blitzer or Jake Tapper? How does this not just make you go, no way? We make way too much money at CNN for you people to be talking this crap, even if we don't like Trump. How can, like some of the influencers you see out there, oh, it looks bad for Trump. Oh, he's never going to win. Midterms are done. Why aren't you focusing on these people? Candace, Alex. It blows my mind when I see what they're talking about. I'm like, wait a second. There's enemies standing out in front of the house. There are people who want to destroy this country, and you're talking crap that has nothing to do with saving America. I understand Mike Lindell, he said some stuff and stupidly, and he just pretty much trashed his campaign. But why? Look around and see how many of the people who trash Trump, who say they're on the right, don't talk about these people. It's going to drive you crazy when you start saying, hey, listen, our enemy isn't Trump. Our enemy is these people who have stated openly this is what they want to do. And don't get me started on some of these people. SV sends me links to some of these guys and what they say, and I'm like, oh, it's so obvious. It's so obvious what's going on.
The Department of Homeland Security has found tens of thousands of registered non-citizens in the United States. Pursuant to Section 904 of the Congressional Budget Act of 1974. I move to waive all provisions of the applicable budget resolutions. I move to waive all applicable sections of the Act and all applicable budget resolutions for purposes of the pending amendment, and I ask for the yeas and nays.
Is there sufficient? The only one thus far, Mike Lee, who is standing up and saying, you're not going on recess. That ain't going to happen. We got to make sure we get the Save America Act done, and we're not leaving till we get it done. And you got all the here-tos and where-tos and poop-ahs and doing everything they do instead of getting it done. I put those clips back to back because you have just seen and have been seeing these socialists who are making no bones about what they're going to do. They understand it's a hard row. They understand it's going to be a mountain that they have to climb and fight. But we're going to do away with the president. We're going to do away with the Senate. We're going to open the jails. We're going to do everything. We're going to take your money. We're going to take your property. They're telling you. And the people we've elected, I don't think we should stop the filibuster because, what if they use it next day? What do you mean, what if? They've already told you, we're going to do away with the Supreme Court. They don't need to filibuster. They're just going to say, just get rid of it. And our people, the people we consider our side, are sitting there with their thumbs up their butt, acting like we got some sort of decorum and process we need to worry about. There is no process. There is no take the bigger, higher road and all this stuff. Your enemy is seated. You can look inside the room and say, oh, there's Rashida Tlaib, and there's Ilhan Omar, and there's AOC, and there's Bernie, and now we got this other people in the squad, what's your name, PayPal, all these, they're sitting right there. And that's what gets me mad, because any single one of you, if you knew somebody was getting ready to kick in your front door, you wouldn't sit around and go, well, what do you think? You think we might be okay? I don't want to open the door and shoot them because, maybe they just go away. Kick, the door is buckling. Well, honey, what do you think we should do? I don't know. Should we call the police? No, don't want to cause a ruckus right now. We can't call the cops. The sirens would happen. People, and by the way, we don't want to put those people in jail. Kick, until all of a sudden, poof, the doors fly open and they're doing bad things to your wife and children and taking your stuff because you had the opportunity to act. Every single one of you had the opportunity to get ready. I've made the analogy many times thus far about hurricanes as we're getting towards the middle of hurricane season down here. SV the other day sent me a link. Go, hey man, there's tropical storm Bertha, and I looked at it and went, no, that one's good. We learned to look at things and go, no, I'm good with that one. That ain't gonna worry about that one, because we can recognize when there's a threat. There are certain signals that people in South Florida look for us to determine whether or not a storm is a threat. As it comes off of the Cape Verde and it starts coming across and they start doing all those spaghetti models, we know how to look. We recognize the threat. We know when we got to board up and get the hell out. Our Republicans aren't recognizing that. Well, we don't want to do it because next time they get in power, they're going to do it to us. So if you know that, nuke them.
About this indoctrination underway in schools is quite concerning. You also have evidence that there are certain schools in certain counties that are encouraging transitions for kids and hiding it from the parents. You are right now doing investigations in at least 3 states. Tell me what you're doing and what you have learned.
Well, thank you so much, Maria. And this is a travesty that parents are not considered first and foremost in charge of their children. They don't belong to the government. They belong to their children. So in Anne Arundel, Maryland, we found that transgender activities were in place and that parents not only were not informed, but it was being hidden from parents. So I can tell you that our investigation, we've turned it over to DOJ. They have likelihood of losing federal funding or a lawsuit or both. Also in Ann Arbor, Michigan, same thing. We're looking at information being withheld from parents. And from Burlington District in Vermont, where parents had opted out of surveys that were being given to their children that were asking very specific sexual questions. This was happening in some of the other districts too. And so even when parents opt out and see these surveys with sexually explicit questions, drug use, alcohol use for 7th graders.
I don't think it needs to be said any clearer than it's been said many a times. If you're not watching everything about your children, you're gonna regret it. It's not an if. They have an agenda. They want to turn, Susie into Johnny, or vice versa, Johnny into Susie. And you would think at this point they understand there's a microscope, and they're still willing to do it, still willing to try, knowing that the Trump administration is staring at them. Don't do it. We're going to revoke your funding. And their focus on converting these kids is so strong they can't withdraw. They have to take the children. They have to go after these kids. It's a sickness. It's a disease. It's a crime. And it's just keep happening.
This is really outrageous, and to hide it from parents and actually create separate file folders so that when parents ask to see their children's records, that is being kept from them, and it's being done on purpose. And so we're just not going to stand for it. Parents have every right to determine what their children's education's exposure is going to be, and we're going to enforce it. You can't give a child a Tylenol at school without parental permission, mostly in writing. But yet you could go through transgender transitioning psychology and parents not know about it. We're just going to stop it. We're not going to stand for it.
And you've got investigations in Maryland, Michigan, and Minnesota right now.
I can't even imagine that this is happening in our school system. And then again, if I see Randy Weingarten, I realize how it's happening in our school system. The problem is we don't have enough parents and grandparents watching and having taught the kids and say, hey, make sure you let me know if something, are you kidding me? You're telling me you can take my son to the doctor and do a chop chop and I don't even have the right to know? That's when I'm going to jail.
Season, socialists winning Democratic primaries, candidates from the far left. And look at this here. Among Democrats, this is that Fox poll, a majority have a favorable view of socialism. Step outside the Democratic Party.
All right. Watch the numbers change here. Because I can't believe Steve Kornacki actually did this on Meet the Press with Christian Welker standing right there. I cannot believe that he does something here that most of the honest pollsters out there won't do. They won't discuss this in terms of breaking it down. So the view of socialism, Democrats, it's 52%. They have made inroads in the Democrat Party, right? Okay, let's consider the Republicans and independents.
It's a totally different world.
It's a losing argument. If 77% of independents is like, we want nothing to do with socialism, they can't win. Now, if he knows that, he's on MSNBC and Kristen Welker's there from Meet the Press, she has to realize, and they have to know at this point, what are we doing here? What in the hell are we doing? It is basically a fait accompli. There's no way they can win in November. Stop letting people tell you, oh, they might win. No, they can't. It's all rigged. The polls are rigged. Everything. You cannot get to that number. You can't even make that up. 77 on a liberal network? It's 60 points the other way at the liberal network? There's no way. There's no way that they can embrace socialism and expect to win. But yet that's exactly what they're doing. You can just take a snapshot with your phone. I'll get off camera so you guys can see it yourself. And you can take a picture and wait a minute. What are people trying to tell me we're in trouble? How are people trying to tell me that we are in trouble in November when the socialists are running the Democrat Party and 77% of independents are saying, we want nothing to do with this. You don't even have to be that good in math. We're not talking, we're talking to almost everybody. 77, forget the Republicans. 77% of independents are like, nope, nope, don't want none of this. So tell me how all the people that you see, that some of you may follow, are even intimating that we're in trouble in November. And I'm not saying don't be ready. I'm not saying don't get out there and vote. I'm saying, what are these people talking about? I can't.
Socialism, deeply unpopular there. So is that a vulnerability for Democrats that would keep them from capitalizing on Trump's obvious weaknesses here? Look more specifically at the two chambers here. Senate side, this, if you're a Democrat, this is the particularly tough one. They need a net gain of 4 seats to get control of the Senate. Take a look at the map here. How would they get 4? 4 is their target number. There's first thing, they can't lose ground. Georgia, New Hampshire, Michigan, Democratic seats, big primary coming up in Michigan in a few weeks there. They could have general election implications. Democrats have to win those.
And understand, the guy they're pushing in Michigan, socialist. Baduba, whatever his name is. Socialist. They're trying to push it in Michigan when they know 77% of independents don't want nothing to do with it. So they may win the Democrat nomination, but they're going to get spanked in November.
To not lose ground. Then the 2 Republican seats they think they have the best shot at would be Susan Collins in Maine. Democrats have a new candidate there now. And in North Carolina, where Democrats have nominated the former governor.
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong, but I'm looking at the data. The
new annual homeless audit for Los Angeles shows the number of people experiencing homelessness ticked up 3.4%. That puts the city's homeless population now at just over 45,000 people.
How did Spencer Pratt lose this? How did Spencer? Well, obviously we know he was cheated. See, when you can vote for 30 days and bring all the votes in you need, that's what you get. You get a rise in homelessness.
Both LAHSA and Mayor Karen Bass are blaming a number of factors, including the high cost of living and cuts in federal funding. The mayor was not at the news conference yet.
You notice that? That's another prevailing theme. Why is it happening? Oh, cutting federal funding. So again, you're talking about, here we go, another area of the country that is failing because they're not getting your money. The fact of what USAID was doing and all the different places where they were stealing money, now the excuse keeps coming out. Oh, it's a cut in federal funding. So you were using my money, your money, to fund all this crap.
Yesterday unveiling these new numbers, but posted a video on social media. Her opponent in the mayoral race, City Councilwoman Nithya Raman, says Mayor Bass isn't doing enough.
My goal is to end street homelessness, to get people housed, to get them cared for, to address whatever led to them being unhoused, and to move them from interim housing.
How'd they get there? Well, is it drugs? Is it crime? Is it illegalism? That's another disease I think we can say.
Into permanent housing.
This is a moral outrage, and it is a failure. The approach to homelessness that Mayor Bass has led and defended has brought us here.
The LAist is reporting the audit comes right after LAHSA got its funding of nearly $500 million approved. We're working to confirm this on our own.
Excuse my language, but what a shitstorm the Democrats are. And if, as you watch these things and hear them, you realize at this point, the only way these people are solvent, can even stand up, is because they've been taking our money. They've hidden it. They've been able to prop everything up because of how much money the Biden and Kamala administration were feeding to all these cities. And now we're seeing it just completely collapse. And California has turned into an island nation at this point. And I hope Steve Hilton can win. I hope they're watching everything. But with that 30-day thing that they got going on, I don't have much hope. Crazy. But I just don't see how things can be as dire as some of the people talking are making out to be. What do you got?
All right, I have two stories. So, one is from clandestine. My boy, he's been kind of quiet, and all of a sudden I said, he's going to chime in about the Trump 2028 meme, and sure enough,
Oh, the
cut
memes we
number.
just saw.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
All right, I'll give you a rest. No big deal. Trump has just been going on a Trump 2028 meme rampage over the last few hours. I'm not sure what Trump would gain by joking about all this. He doesn't gain any political advantage by just purely being a troll. I'm starting to think it's not a joke. I think Trump actually wants an extra term for the fraud the Dems committed in 2020 and for the obstruction and treason during his first term via Russiagate/Mueller. How many times can he joke about it before it's not a joke anymore? The Dems seem to think he's not joking either, because they created the No Kings narrative in direct response to him floating the idea of running in 2028. Don't rule it out.
I didn't hear it. They did. Even Fox News. Oh, he was joking. He said it wasn't. I'm like, no, you might want to rewind that. He didn't say he was joking. So I'm not sure why everybody quickly assumed it. Do I think he'd even want to? I don't know. I mean, why would
I
he
wouldn't. I mean, take some years off to play some golf, chill. He's been working his ass off. I mean, good grief. And the next story is about less eating the dogs, less eating the cats, and the ducks. So apparently, this just came out. So next week, it looks like Springfield, Ohio, is going to be in the news cycle again. They're going to target. ICE is targeting that area, which infamously houses a high number of TPS Haitians. So ICE is set to ramp up deportations as soon as this week to find and arrest Haitian illegal aliens who have lost their TPS. This is great news. Send them back.
So you think, what's his name? Tom Homan is getting ready to send people up there?
That's what it sounds like. I'm all for that. Come on.
That would be awesome. All right.
I'm sure that's going to be in the Thursday news cycle from Carolyn next week. I expect it.
Hold on a second before I do super chats. Let me go ahead. Have you seen have they posted Trump's schedule or the White House schedule for tomorrow as of yet? Let me see here.
Seen it.
See if anything is put up. Let's see if we can announce anything happening tomorrow. Nope, I don't see it.
Looking.
My phone
Brock is looking, thinking about my request. Let's see if it comes up.
My phone's taking
all
too
over.
long.
Yeah, it's coming. We'll see.
Okay, I got it. And nope, they haven't posted. They usually post at like 10 o'clock, but they haven't posted anything. So I'll keep it posted. I'll post tonight when we're gonna go on tomorrow. All right, let me take a quick
Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, quick break and then do super chats. You guys want to pay attention to this.
Hey guys, Ross Givens here. Don't forget to register for this Wednesday's free insider training event. It is Wednesday, July 29th at 3 o'clock Eastern. In that, I'm going to show you all the secrets to tracking insider buys, both politicians and corporate insiders, how to find their trades for free, what to look for, what our biggest winners have had in common. Join me this Wednesday, 3 o'clock Eastern time. Click the link below to sign up, and I promise you won't look at stocks the same way again.
All right, guys, if you guys want to do that, go ahead and sign up. He does very well with those trainings. Like I said, last time there was almost 700 people signed up. So get some if you'd like to learn. It's completely free. All right, let me just go here and go over here, super chats. All right, these people in Jewish garb are left-wing paid losers. Yeah, probably. Wonder how it started in 1938. Yep, just like this. Dems and their imports are beyond insane, and they must be stopped. Barry Canova, pissing off Italians in New York is a non-event. The mafia was obliterated years ago. Right, get real, New Yorkers. I'm glad that was satire. I'm glad at the end there you let me know you were kidding, because yeah, good luck. Civic freedom. With recess appointments, Trump can get the people he needs to help him clean house. Guess Thune and company are worried about that. Yep. They should have had a bunch by now. Tyler, thank you. Alec, 2028 mug, great present to give a limb. Oh, they'll lose their minds. Barry again, paid protesters with no meaningful life. Get help. Alec, watch Mark Elias run to Bo Asperger to stop President from running in 2008. Oh, of course. Of course he will. Papa's Pillar. Chicago grocery store failed because they only spent $14 million. Mondami's spending $30 million. It will be twice as good. Yeah, that's right. He's spending $30 million on one grocery store. John, to run a store, you have to pay a triple net lease. Yeah, or maybe they'll confiscate a building from eminent domain or something. Gen Extra, Glenn Beck went off on Langford. It was hilarious. I know, I saw him go off Bethune too. He called him the Nobel Peace Prize nominee. Neo says, awesome show, Barry, praying for New York to step up, squash this man dummy bug, please. I work in New York City, so it affects me. I dread what will run into the subways. Pray for New York. Pray for New York. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get real ugly. Geosop a couple times. Dems' main strategy to win is cheating. That's all they have. That's it in violence. What else do we have from Geosop? Trump's a workaholic. He'd love to do more terms. And Linnell was just in Miami for my daughter's baby shower. Lots of money. All I saw was smiles and people enjoying life. Oh, you went to Aventura Mall. Yes, Aventura Mall is a very, very, very nice place. I had posted there was some libnut. Let me see if I can find that today that said something really stupid. Let me close by showing you this because it was such a stupid thing that she said, but then there were some people who commented about it that really got me. Where is it? Hold on. Oh, by the way, I want to show you this too. Wait 1 second. Sorry, I should have had these ready, but I wasn't sure. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, anyway, somebody said that they don't like smiling, or the libtard said something to the effect of, why do men have to ask women to smile? And I would just say, why don't you like to smile? Like she said, you're down here, everybody smiles. Everybody has not because you're a woman, not because somebody's trying to hit on you, but just because smile. It's a good feeling. I don't know where I posted that. I don't think I can find it. Anyway, I wanted to show you this. Oof, not that one. This one. Where? Hold on. All right, there it is. Michael finally got his hat, and I think his wife or his girlfriend posted a picture of they're at. I don't know if that's a beach or a lake. It says, but there's their picture with he gave her the fanfare hat, which is so cool. Thank you very much for wearing that, and thank you for waiting so long to get it. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.